The Defence Medal is a campaign medal which was instituted by the United Kingdom in May 1945, to be awarded to subjects of the British Commonwealth for both non-operational military and certain types of civilian service during the Second World War. Institution. The duration of the Second World War in Europe was from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, while in the Pacific Theatre it continued until the 2nd of September 1945. The Defence Medal was instituted by the United Kingdom in May 1945, to be awarded to British military and civilian personnel for a range of services in the United Kingdom, and to British Commonwealth and British colonial personnel who served from or outside the home countries in a non-operational area or in an area subject to threat, such as attacks from the air. Award criteria. The Defence Medal was awarded for non-operational service in the Armed Forces, the Home Guard, the Civil Defence Service and other approved civilian services during the period from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945 inclusive. Military personnel. In the United Kingdom, this included military personnel working in headquarters, on training bases and airfields for the duration of the war in Europe from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, and service by members of the Home Guard during its existence from the 14th of May 1940 to the 31st of December 1944. The medal was also awarded for non-operational service overseas in the dominions of the British Commonwealth, India and the colonies. Those who qualified for the award of any one of the campaign stars could be awarded the Defence Medal in addition, and the subsequent award of one of the campaign stars did not supersede a previous award of the Defence Medal. Civilian services. Eligible civilian service in the United Kingdom included, but was not confined to, civilian services whose members were eligible for chevrons for war service, civil defence services established by a government department or local authority, Warden's service, including shelter wardens, rescue service, including former first aid party service, decontamination service, report and control service, messenger service, ambulance service, including sitting case cars, first aid service, including first aid posts and points, public cleansing centers, mobile cleansing units and the nursing service for public air raid shelters, local authority civil defense services, Rest Centre Service, Emergency Food Service, including the Queen's Messenger Convoy Service, Canteen Service, Emergency Information Service, Mortuary Service, National Fire Service, including service in a local authority fire brigade or the Auxiliary Fire Service prior to nationalisation, the Police, Royal Marine Police Special Reserve, Admiralty Civil Police, War Department Constabulary, Air Ministry Constabulary, Railway Police and Dock Police, American Ambulance, Great Britain, Civil Air Transport, Civil Defence Reserve, Kent County Civil Defence Mobile Reserve and West Sussex County Civil Defence Mobile Reserve, Civil Nursing Reserve, Civilian Technical Corps, Coast Guard, fire guards who performed duties under the local authorities or at government or business premises, lighthouse keepers who served under the three lighthouse authorities and keepers of light vessels under those authorities, who did not qualify for the 1939 to 1945 star, nurses in hospitals for which government departments or local authorities were responsible, or in the recognized voluntary hospitals, Port of London Authority River Emergency Service, Clyde River Patrol, Royal Observer Corps, Women's Voluntary Services for Civil Defense, whose members could qualify provided they were enrolled in an eligible local authority civil defense service. They performed duties analogous to those of one of the eligible local authority civil defense services, and the section of the women's voluntary services to which they belonged was one which functioned operationally during or immediately after enemy attacks. Qualifying service. The length of qualifying service required for the award of the Defense Medal varied, depending on where and in what role an individual served. For persons normally resident in the United Kingdom, the requirement was 1,080 days of service in the United Kingdom and 90 days of service in a mine and bomb disposal unit. The qualifying period in the United Kingdom ended upon the end of the war in Europe on the 8th of May 1945. In a non-operational area which was not subjected to air attack and which was not closely threatened, the requirement was 360 days of service overseas from or outside the individual's country of residence. Military service overseas from the United Kingdom could qualify up to the 2nd of September 1945, when the war in the Pacific ended. Service was reckonable from the date of embarkation and was counted at its full rate for the voyage to the non-operational area. In a non-operational area subjected to air attack or closely threatened, the requirement was 180 days of service overseas from or outside a person's country of residence. The same applied to British Commonwealth citizens from overseas who served in the Home Guard in the United Kingdom. Service was reckonable from the date of embarkation and, for the voyage to the area of service, was counted at half the actual duration of the voyage. Service by Indian Army personnel in India did not count as qualifying service for the Defence Medal, since such service qualified for the India Service Medal, awarded to members of the Indian Armed Forces instead of the Defence Medal for 3 years of non-operational service in India. Country of residence. Regarding service outside the country of residence, 5 territories were classified as single contiguous areas. Movements by personnel from one territory to another within the defined groups were not regarded as outside the country of residence in terms of qualification for the award of the Defence Medal. Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Aire, Isle of Man and the Channel Islands, including all the islands adjacent to Great Britain, Cyprus, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt and Transjordan, Kenya, Tanganyika, Uganda, Nyasaland, Northern Rhodesia and Zanzibar, Nigeria, Gambia, Sierra Leone and the Gold Coast, the Union of South Africa, Southwest Africa, Basutoland, Swaziland and Bechuanaland Protectorate. Threatened territories. The following territories were classified as non-operational areas subjected to enemy air attacks or closely threatened during the periods as shown. Europe, United Kingdom from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Mediterranean area, Anglo-Egyptian Sudan from the 28th of November 1941 to the 8th of May 1945. Corsica from the 5th of October 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Cyprus from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Egypt from the 13th of May 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Gibraltar from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Malta from the 13th of May 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. North Africa from the 13th of May 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Palestine from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Pantellaria from the 12th of June 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Sardinia from the 20th of September 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Sicily from the 18th of August 1943 to the 8th of May 1945. Sinai from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Syria and Lebanon from the 12th of July 1941 to the 8th of May 1945. Indian Ocean Aden from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Andaman Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 22nd of March 1942. Bengal and Assam, west of the Brahmaputra, from the 1st of January 1944 to the 2nd of September 1945. Ceylon from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Cocos, Keeling Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Iraq from the 1st of June 1941 to the 8th of May 1945. Maldive Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Mauritius from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Nicobar Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 22nd of March 1942. Persia from the 29th of August 1941 to the 8th of May 1945. Rodriguez Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Seychelles from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Pacific Area British North Borneo from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 30th of December 1941. Brunei from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 7th of December 1941. Christmas Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Cook Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Fanning Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Fiji Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Hong Kong from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 7th of December 1941. Malaya from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 7th of December 1941. New Caledonia from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. New Hebrides from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Norfolk Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Northern Territory of Australia, north of latitude 14 degrees 30 south from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Phoenix Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Rarotonga Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Sarawak from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 7th of December 1941. Tonga Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Torres Strait Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Union Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Washington Island from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. Western Samoa from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945. West Atlantic Falkland Islands from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945. Special criteria. service in eligible categories which was brought to a premature end prior to the completion of the required period of service by death due to enemy action while on duty or by injuries which entitled the individual to a wound stripe, was a qualification for the award of the Defense Medal. The Defense Medal was also awarded without regard to the required period of service to British subjects who received an award for brave conduct or a commendation for valuable service in the air, provided that the individual was serving in a category eligible for the Defense Medal at the time and that the award was earned in respect of service qualifying for the Defense Medal. Recipients of the George Cross of the George Medal who were not rendering service which would qualify them for the Defense Medal at the time the award was earned, became eligible for a special award of the Defense Medal. Order of Wear. Campaign medals and stars are not listed by name in the order of wear prescribed by the British Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, but are all grouped together as taking precedence after the Queen's Medal for Chiefs and before the Polar Medals, in order of the date of the campaign for which awarded. In the order of wear of the Second World War campaign medals, the 2 campaign medals take precedence after the 9 campaign stars, of which the order of wear was determined firstly by the respective campaign start dates, secondly by the campaign's duration and thirdly by the dates of institution. The 1939 to 1945 star from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945, the full duration of the Second World War. The Atlantic Star from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Battle of the Atlantic and the war in Europe. The Arctic Star from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Battle of the Atlantic and the war in Europe. The Aircrew Europe Star from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 5th of June 1944, the period until D-Day-1. The Africa Star for the 10th of June 1940 to the 12th of May 1943, the duration of the North African Campaign. The Pacific Star for the 8th of December 1941 to the 2nd of September 1945, the duration of the Pacific War. The Burma Star from the 11th of December 1941 to the 2nd of September 1945, the duration of the Burma Campaign. The Italy Star from the 11th of June 1943 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Italian Campaign. The France and Germany Star from the 6th of June 1944 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Northwest Europe Campaign. The Defense Medal from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945, the full duration of the Second World War. The War Medal 1939 to 1945 from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945, the full duration of the Second World War. Preceded by the France and Germany Star. Succeeded by the War Medal 1939 to 1945. Description: the Defense Medal is a silver copper-nickel disc, 36 mm in diameter. The non-swiveling suspender is attached to the medal with a single toe claw mount on a pin through the upper edge of the medal. The British issue medals were struck in copper-nickel, while those awarded in Canada were struck in silver. Obverse: the obverse shows the bareheaded effigy of King George VI facing left. Around the perimeter is the legend GEORGIVSVID, GBR, Rex F, DIND, Imp. Reverse: the reverse shows the royal crown resting on an oak sapling, flanked by a lion and a lioness above stylized waves. At the top left is the year 1939, and at the top right the year 1945. The exec has the words "The Defense Medal" in 2 lines. Ribbon. The ribbon is 32 mm wide, with a 4.5 mm wide green band, a 1 mm wide black band and a 4.5 mm wide green band, repeated and separated by 12 mm wide orange band. The flame-colored orange center band and the green bands symbolize enemy attacks on Britain's green and pleasant land, while the narrow black bands represent the blackouts against air attacks. The ribbons for the Defense Medal, as well as those of the Second World War campaign stars, with the exception of the Arctic Star, were devised by King George VI.